I want to talk about the divine feminine today. And I talked about the heart a little bit in my meditation, but uh, the state of the world today has me wondering, is the heart of the world lost? And whether the answer is yes, no, maybe, or partially, uh, it's an interesting question. Is the heart of the world lost? And of course, there are great people doing very good things every day. But it's clear to me that so many people are motivated by power and greed and ego and anger and fear. And these destructive forces, the destruction that comes out of this, seem to me to fall into this basket of the masculine or the masculine archetype. And some of those masculine archetypes are, if you study Jung, warrior, ruler, king, um, having domination over, being forceful. That's the kind of energy that lives in the realm of the masculine. And listen to these facts. This number hasn't changed. This one, 51% of the people on Earth are women, but only 10% of the people on Earth, or excuse me, only 10% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are women. And only 28% of Congress, the 535 people in Congress, are women. And in the United Nations, among the 193 countries that are members of the United Nations, only 13 people of those 193 heads of state are women. And further, major religions such as Catholicism and Southern Baptists, Muslims, Mormons disallow women in clergy. And I don't mean to say I'm not happy about the Pope. So women and feminine energy, they've been suppressed clearly for a long time by what is still largely a patriarchal society. And I think that goes back to fear a lot. And women's influences have been erased from history. And you can talk for a long time about how women's influences have been erased from the Bible as it is today. And perhaps some of that erasure is still going on. So clearly, it's time for the divine feminine, because we can't solve all of our problems using the same thinking that created them. So I'm saying that we need to tip the scale, or at least we need to have parity. We need to have balance in between these two forces, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But make no mistake, the divine feminine is rising. You know, Unity Worldwide very much believes in the power of the divine feminine. There are so many women leaders, women ministers. Look at this Zoom gathering, mostly women. So we're on the cutting edge. And the global trend of world leaders is moving more and more. Those numbers I cited earlier, they were way worse 10, 20, 30, we're better now than we were. So we're headed in the right direction, at least in terms of those numbers. But we've got a long way to go. And know this, I am not here to knock the male gender. The divine, I mean, I'm a man. But the divine feminine goes beyond gender. Everyone can take on aspects of the divine feminine and access it and use it as a model, take inspiration from it. And the divine feminine, that's a great topic today because it's one of the manifestations of the divine feminine is the divine mother. So the divine feminine is often associated with certain qualities. And I'm going to share my screen here. And these are the qualities that came up in my research. Can everybody see that okay? Okay, these are the qualities that came up in my research as being the ones most often associated with the divine feminine. So you've got compassion, intuition, creativity, nurturing, healing, wisdom, empathy, collaboration, unity. We made the list. Forgiveness, acceptance, flexibility, receptivity, surrender, and connection to nature. I mean, what this sounds like to me, it sounds like every single talk that you would see in a New Thought Center has some aspect of these. And I would say these qualities absolutely overlap with the values of not only unity, but the values of who we are. Us being here and choosing to spend this hour in this room, we have decided to step forth as spiritual people. We are healers. This stuff is important to us. I know that to be true. And so, anyways, I love those words. And one of my favorite topics at getting at this divine feminine is to go to world religions. It's a perfect lens with which to explore the divine feminine. So you may have heard of Shiva and Shakti. And Shiva is, even though statues often look female, Shiva is male. Shiva is the divine masculine. Oh, do I have one? I'll get it. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I don't have a shot, but this is Shiva, the male Shiva, and it's doing the dance of, it actually has a drum called a domaro, but I like that it has a drum. But Shiva is the male, I'll do that again, is the male manifestation, and Shakti is the female manifestation. And you may remember an author named Shakti Gawain. She took on the name Shakti. Shakti is the life force of the universe. It's the source of divine feminine in Hinduism. And I think that all the deities that embody the divine feminine have this, they draw upon Shakti. And one of my favorite goddesses among all the goddesses is a Hindu goddess named Sarasvati. And I'm going to share just a picture real quick. And I'm sorry that this is going to be a little choppy here. Okay. So Sarasvati is the Hindu goddess of music, but and the arts, but she's also the goddess of intelligence, wisdom, and learning. And she's pictured there with, lots of flowers and lotuses and mala beads and things like that. There's some money down there. I don't know why. But there's so many different ways which she shows up. But those are some of the qualities of the divine feminine. And I could go on and on about goddesses that encompass the divine feminine, but remember, the divine feminine goes beyond gender. So I want to talk about this, and I'm doing this from memory because my notes completely disappear when I share these images. I want to talk about, can you see that okay? This is a bodhisattva. And a bodhisattva is, it's a soul that can attain enlightenment, just like the Buddha did, but chooses not to go there because they don't want to cross through into nirvana, into heaven, until every last soul is saved, because they take a vow of compassion. And this particular bodhisattva, someone who has yet to be enlightened, but is more interested in relieving the suffering of all beings, this particular bodhisattva is Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, who is the most revered bodhisattva in all of India and all of the world. And it just so happens that the Dalai Lama is an incarnation of the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. So the current Dalai Lama is the 14th incarnation of the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. And in short, it is the Bodhisattva of compassion, vowing to stay behind until all the souls of the world are saved. And the interesting part is, was looking on Facebook for a picture of Avalokiteshvara, and you go to this, there's this site that has like, 5,000 followers who just follow this person. And the pictures are, some of the pictures are make that him look very androgynous. Some of the pictures make him look female. Some of the pictures make him look male. And I know that Avalokiteshvara's one of the qualities is he can go back and forth between male and female, so he can reach more people who are suffering. And so that kind of shape shifting is pretty amazing. And in, if I have my memory right, the 5th century BC, this god morphed into Kuan Yin. Anybody heard of Kuan Yin before? So Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion in Chinese Buddhism. And here you go. What a beautiful rendering of Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is riding a dragon because she's the patron saint of sailors and seafaring people, but she also is said to ride the dragon, not that she's slaying something, but the dragon is a very auspicious, good symbol in Chinese folklore and mythology, and she is using this to move around, because what the name Kuan Yin means is she who hears the cries of those who suffer. Or in short, she who hears the cries of the suffering. And it's so beautiful that it's such a beautiful concept. But whether you're talking about Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva or its counterpart, the female Kuan Yin, it's the same energy of compassion. It's the same mission. And it's interesting that this goddess is even more popular than Avalokiteshvara, because I bet you a lot more of you have heard of Kuan Yin or Guan Yin, depending on what country you're in. So this is just so cool when I think about that shape shifting. And a lot of people in the LGBT community really lean into that shape shifting, that androgynous nature, and they hold up Avalokiteshvara as a symbol. So that was my lesson, a little tour of world religion, but the divine feminine, how it can manifest not only in women and goddesses, but in gods. So whether you believe in these deities or goddesses, it doesn't matter, because they're all expressions of the one. There are 2.5 billion Christians, but there are also 2.5 billion Muslims, and I forgot what the numbers are. They're huge numbers of people that it's just a different manifestation of the one. And the beautiful thing is that unity embraces that. And no matter what, all of these are the one power and the one presence. But it's interesting to look at it from this female and feminine standpoint. Here's one way you can try it on. Shiva and Shakti, I talked about that, male and female. This is in the East, the two huge energies that make up the masculine and the feminine. Who's heard of Mother, Father, God? You hear that a lot in New Thought these days. And it's the same idea. It really expands our way of looking at God as Mother, Father. And for some people, it turns them off. They don't want to hear Mother. I don't want to hear Mother God, because it just seems strange to them. But for a lot of people, it gives them comfort. I know Reverend Michael Beckwith often refers to the divine as Mother, Father, God. And it really is a way of expanding and opening up your definition of God, so that you can contain God as a nurturing mother. So we're here on Mother's Day. And I think that honoring the divine feminine gives us a greater appreciation on this day of the mother energy, because the divine mother is the divine feminine. And I switch gears a little bit here. I've been thinking about my mom a lot lately, and in the best days, my mom was very nurturing. And no relationship is perfect, but she was largely nurturing and the most nurturing force in my life. And she was also the one who gave me my sense of humor. She gave me my cursing, which comes in handy if it's used appropriately. Uh, and most importantly, my mom instilled in me a sense that I could do anything. She said to me, David, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You can be anything. And oh yeah, sure, mom. Yeah, whatever, mom. Sure, mom. Right. And you don't realize that wisdom until later. You don't really internalize it. But something in me had a confidence that took me from remedial in grade school, which I talked about a couple weeks ago, to valedictorian of junior high. And something in me took that confidence that my mom instilled in me and those messages, and I became the first person in my family and my lineage to graduate from a four-year college because of those messages. And I think back in grade school, in the third grade, I was completely lost in, you know how when you multiply three numbers times three numbers, you have to do some like little stacking of things. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do long division. I was completely lost. I was in this huge classroom, huge. Everyone else had it except for me. So I was not doing well. And then I finally said to my mom, Mom, do you know how to do this? And she said, yes. And she sat down with me, problem by problem. All third grade, she sat with me after school for hours going through because I had a lot of homework, every single problem, every single number, I mean, it went on pages and pages. And when it was done with, she would get up and dance and she would sing la 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 la. And I don't know where that song came from, but it was her song and I don't know where she got it, but that was her giving me joy and sharing that reward with me. And if it wasn't for my mom doing that, I don't know what would have become, just because basic math, I had a hard time with basic math and she got me over that very important hurdle. I was just using some of that math earlier today. So thank you, Mom. Um, so think of the divine qualities of the moms in your life. Um, and if you are a mom, think about those qualities that I put up on the slide earlier. And for everybody in this room, how can we, whether we are male or female, how can we see through the eyes of the divine feminine? If you're a man in this room, you are more attuned to the energies of the divine feminine than your typical counterparts in the world. And that's a good thing. Here's another question. What are you birthing? What are you birthing? Are you birthing anything? Are you nurturing something? Or are you nurturing someone else? Is there anyone in your life that you're nurturing? Or that you'd like to step up to the plate to say, hey, I'm available to be a blessing in someone's life by nurturing them. So that's some things that I'll leave you with. So in closing, and by the way, in a few minutes, if you have a picture of your mom nearby, grab it. Or if you have a picture of your mom on your phone, grab it. And if you don't have a picture nearby, that's okay. You can just use just what's in your head. I want to close with this fascinating reading that I serendipitously found last night. It just kind of landed in my lap. I saved it a year ago and I forgot about it. And it's about mothers and their children. So, when pregnant, the cells of the baby migrate into the mother's bloodstream and then circle back into the baby. For 41 weeks, the cells circulate and merge backwards and forwards. And after the baby is born, many of these cells stay in the mother's body, leaving permanent imprint in the mother's tissues, bones, brain, skin. And those imprints stay there for decades. Even if a pregnancy does not go to full term, these cells still migrate into the bloodstream. Research has shown that if a mother's heart is injured, fetal cells will rush to the site of the injury and change into other types of cells that specialize in repairing heart cells. So the baby helps heal the mother while the mother is building the baby. How cool is that? And this is often why certain illnesses vanish. I was just talking to somebody who knew about this concept. Certain illnesses in the mother vanish while she is pregnant. That's amazing. And the theory is that the baby is healing the mother. And it's incredible how mothers' bodies protect the baby at all costs, and the baby protects and builds back the mother. Studies have shown that cells from a fetus in a mother's brain 18 years after she gives birth are still there. 18 years after she gives birth, there are still cells from the fetus in the mother's brain. So the last thing in this reading, if you're a mom, you know how you can intuitively feel your child even when they're not there. Well, here's scientific proof about how that might happen. So I invite you now to grab a picture of, this is a picture of my mom and dad, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to put people in gallery view, but I invite you to do the same. Hi, everyone. And we're going to just take a few moments here. And I'm just noticing, maybe just hold, if you have a picture, you can hold it up and just kind of, I like it because I can see people's name and I can associate whose mother is belongs to whom. Betsy, bring your picture closer. Even closer. Oh, your screen thing is obscuring it. Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Atana, bring yours closer. Yeah. And hold yours a little higher, Marty, because it's disappearing. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So whether you want to keep those pictures there or you can put them down, let's hold them in consciousness or have them near you. And we're just going to say, this is going to be in two parts. Whether you want to think about your biological mother or any mother that touched your life, okay? I first want to read this poem that I read last year. It was a poem that Jen gave to me, and it's extremely short. It says this: your mother is always with you. She's the whisper of the leaves as you walk down the street. She's the smell of certain foods you remember. She's the flowers you pick. She's the fragrance of life itself. She's the comfort when you're not feeling well. She's the sound of the rain that lulls you to sleep. She's the colors of the rainbow. She is Christmas morning. Your mother lives inside your laughter, and nothing can separate you. So thank you, Jen, for giving that to me, reminding me about that reading. And right now, for all of the mothers and the grandmothers and the great grandmothers in the room here, will you raise your hand if you are a mother, great grandmother, grandmother? Okay. And I know there are some with their images hidden, and you can put it down. Thank you. It's funny, my hand raised because Zoom is just too smart for me, so I'm going to lower my hand. Okay, so I say, for all of the mothers here and the grandmothers and the great grandmothers, I'm gonna say this affirmation style, so I'm gonna ask you to say it back. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We honor the Divine Mother in you. We honor everything that you've taught us. We honor the gifts that you've given us. We honor your sacrifices. Thank you for teaching love. You are so blessed. You are divine love itself. And so it is. And I'll complete this by thinking about a mother that you would like to honor right now. So whether it's a mother that's your biological mother, or it could be someone in your life that you, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was an older sister, maybe it was an aunt, so it could have been a man, it could have been someone that was a nurturing maternal presence in your life, and it could be more than one person. So let's just call into our minds whoever that is. And now for the mothers that you'd like to honor, and you can, if it's represented in the picture, you could just have this picture close by. Let's say again, affirmation style. I'm just going to do it a little bit differently. And I'm going to read this. And you're going to read it back again. You're going to say it back again. Holding that mother in your heart, say, I appreciate all that you are. I honor the gifts that you've given me. I honor everything that you've taught me. I'm so grateful for your sacrifices. Your memory lives in me. Thank you for nurturing me. Thank you for believing in me. Nothing can separate us, even now. And so it is. So thank you. I am complete. And just in a second, Amy, I'm just going to spotlight you so you can sing us out and complete this message. There you go.
Well, as you were speaking this chant, one of my favorite chants kept coming to me, and so I thought I could, take this chant and sort of expand upon it for us and add a little la 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 la. La 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 la. I was very moved by that. Just picturing little David doing math with mommy. La 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 la. This is for you, Mom. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Divine feminine rising. Shakti, Shakti, Sarasvati. Divine energy rising. Shakti, Shakti, Sarasvati. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. La 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 la. Wide my heart. Bodhisattva of compassion calling us all to listen to the heart of the world and the call. Rise, rise, allow the Kuan Yin, the mission to begin, the mission from within. Mother, Father, God, a healing going on. What are you birthing? Allow a new dawn. Open wide my heart. La 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 la. We are the repair. We are the repair. Know the heart of the world is not lost. Do not fear. We are the repair. We are the repair. Do not fear. No, the heart of the world is not lost. No, 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 no. The heart of the world, it is not lost. Open wide compassion, intuition, creativity, and nurturing. Healing, wisdom, empathy, collaboration, unity, forgiveness, acceptance, flexibility, receptivity, and surrender. Surrender. Letting go, letting go. La 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 la. La 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 la. No, we are not lost. It was very feminine. It was very flow.
It was very cool. Thank you, Amy.